What is going on, everyone? Welcome to week 7 of the LTC. We are going up against ToastyRex. I'm going to try and make this intro very short because Toasty has already challenged me, but this is sort of the midway season, so if you, I'll show Toasty's team really quick. Things like Confe, Drudigan, Pyro are very scary. Giga has been doing a lot of work. Cricketune, obviously, with webs is scary. Vileplume is the other thing that I've just had to prep a ton for, which has been a little bit challenging, but you'll see how I have decided to deal with it. That being said, I do think I have a team that can beat Toasty. If we lose, it's not a huge deal. I'm going to take a quick go over to the standings. As you can see, everyone below us has more than one loss. So even if we accumulate one loss through the rest of the season, it won't hurt until we start to get to 2 losses. And even if I think we get to 2 losses and people like Seb and Slick start winning out, which is actually impossible because I think Slick and Seb play each other next week, I still think differential-wise we're ahead of most people except Sean, who has three losses, so we'd have to get there. And I think based on matchups and sort of other people's standings, I think we have a pretty good shot at maybe not going undefeated, but finishing something close to 11-1, 10-2, ideally no less than that. So we're going to get into the team. We got Speed Pickle with protective pads. This protects us from things like Togedemaru's Iron Barbs, Rough Skin Rocky Helmet on Drudigan, as well as Effect Spore on Vileplume, and then it allows me to spike stack, keep recovering, and the bulky spread's really nice. I don't need any more speed than this, which is absolutely fine. Gallade's very interesting, just bulk up dual stab, hits his entire team very, very well. Encore is really nice because I actually wouldn't even mind encoring Vileplume into something like Strength Sap that can allow me to just get to my defense up, and, that might be pretty nice. But other than that, like into things like Gigalith Rocks, this is actually like a potential lead set in which I can go for bulk up, and if he goes for rocks, I can encore it, and that would be pretty interesting. Rotom Fan is here with the Flyinium Z. First time I'm bringing a Z move Rotom Fan with just enough moves to hit his team. Flying Stab goes really hard. With max special attack, Flyinium Z hits him really well. Bringing a Choice Banded Tyrantrum for the first time because he doesn't have great head smash answers. Things like Drudigan can't come in, but like, I figured it was a better bring than things like a Dragonet set, given I already have bulk up in Gallade, and then I'm also bringing a Curse Licky Licky set because Return plus Earthquake hits his entire team minus one thing, I believe. I don't remember. Driftbloom, right? So hopefully Driftbloom doesn't come, but if it does, so be it. And then Poniard is here to answer the Vileplume with the safety goggles, which will prevent sleep powder, and then this will also be a pretty decent answer to the Driftbloom as well. So very, very nice. I will get into the game against Toasty, and we'll see how it goes. I need to import my sets into the calc. There is no Driftbloom, which is absolutely fine. This actually looks like a team that Licky Licky can get behind. That being said, it does sort of seem like Gallade is also something that could possibly go in here. I think leading it and encoring Cricketune into something like Sticky Webs is going to be really, really great. And I think that's actually what I'm going to go for. I think I'm going to lead, and while I do that, I'm going to go for the calc here, just so I can import my sets. Like I said, I'm not too worried about this game. This is sort of one of the opponents that I'm a little less concerned about losing to, because 1, it's not a division opponent, and 2, as you saw the standings, 1 loss isn't too big of a deal. I'm considering doing like some fun stuff in the middle of the season or late in the season in terms of like maybe challenging myself in some specific ways. I don't know. I don't think he wants to stay in here in all truthfulness. So I think bulking up is going to be a potentially really great option here. I don't see him staying in on a potential psychic move. So I honestly just think Gallade could go in here immediately, and that would be pretty interesting to see. He does go Cricketune, so that's a bit interesting. I think I'm just going to fire off a Zen Headbutt. I should outspeed this thing always unless it's Scarf. That'll be absolutely fantastic. I will Zen, as he does have the Focus Sash, and he goes for Parasong. So very, very cool tech there. That being said, I'm just going to Drain Punch. I don't think there's too much to worry about here. He doesn't have any resists, and I don't think he's going to go into anything either. So I'm going to go for the Drain Punch here, and this means there's no Sticky Webs either, which is absolutely fine. Now the question is, do I stay in and kill something, or do I... I'm not sure, in all truthfulness. Like, I could... It'll depend. Giraffe Rig does come in. I think I'm just going to Drain Punch. I'm just going to Drain Punch. Because I think this will still do a significant amount of damage. He does go for the Nasty Plot. That's absolutely fine. Drain Punch is going to do that. And that's still okay with me. I know he's going to have to go for something, but I'm still not too concerned. He's going to go for something like Hyper Voice or Psychic. I don't think Pawniard takes it, but since there's no Vile Plume, I think Pawniard's a very easy sack here. So I'm just going to go Pawniard as he goes for the Shadow Ball, which I might be able to take, which I do. And that's fine by me. I can just go for a Sucker Punch here. I don't think this thing gets recovery or anything. And I also just, you know, if he switches out, he switches out, which is absolutely fine. I could go for Knock, but I don't see him trying to preserve this. But he preserves it, which is fine by me. I have a couple options here. I could try and Knock. I don't want to switch in anything, really. I could go Speed as a Selgor, but I think I just want to Knock. Because if this thing has leftovers, I do want to get rid of it. So I'm going to go for Knock here. If he had speeds, he had speeds. It's no worry. But if he had speeds, we'll get to see that he does have speed, which he doesn't. We get a crit, and he do knock off the leftovers, which is great. Skull does kill me, but that's absolutely fine. And he doesn't have any hazard clears. So I'm feeling pretty confident just going for spikes on this turn just to get some damage off. I'm sorry if you hear any noise or anything along those lines, but let's see. I'm fine just going for spikes again, I think, as another Rock Slide is going to miss, which is unfortunate for him, and I'm just going to get my third layer up, which is absolutely fine by me. This doesn't concern me because I was able to, like, recover up on this thing, so it's fine. I'm going to recover here as he goes for a Scald, does 29, and I think I'm just going to keep recovering as he goes for another Rock Slide. Does 45. Yeah, recovering here just going to be really nice until he either misses a Rock Slide, gets a burn. But really my goal here is just to get up as healthy as I can. That will allow me to U-turn whenever I can. But ultimately, I think Gallade's still looking fantastic here in the end game. And actually might be something I want to go for, given that Gallade's surging up in the standings. Actually, I almost do want to go for that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for Hidden Power Ground just to get this thing in range a little bit more. So he's going to go for Scald, and does crit me. No burn, thankfully. So we are just going to recover. This does go for Scald again. Finally gets a burn, which is fine. And I'm going to recover again, just to sort of, you know, stall this thing. There's no worries there. And we'll see what he goes into. I mean, he could go into something like Pyroar. That wouldn't scare me too much. And if Pyroar outspeeds, we'll get to see if it's Scarf or not. Really, if anything outspeeds, we'll get to see if it's, this is on Nerve, so. If he goes for Fire Blast, I also think that Tyrantrum's a very, very safe switch, but I'm just going to go for Hidden Power Ground. It does 62%. He does go for Fire Blast and kills my speed Pickle. So, a couple options. I could go into Licky Licky, start cursing. I actually do sort of like that idea, but a lot of me also wants to go into Gallade. The problem with that is that I ultimately do feel like he could have the Z move, so I do think that going into Licky Licky and just firing off an Earthquake is probably my best option here. As he does just go for Fire Blast. It's not going to kill me, and I'll be able to Earthquake here, which is perfect. I think if he goes Poliwrath, I'm actually going to want to go into Rotom Fan, and I think that's going to be really, really nice. He actually goes Gigalith instead. I'd be interested to see what kind of Gigalith set this is, and I think actually I want to go for Gallade here, because if he starts setting up with something like Curse, I want to be able to Encore it, as he is actually going to Rock Polish, which is relatively scary, but not the worst case scenario. Kind of bad, but not awful. I think I just want to Drain Punch here. So Earthquake does 57. Yep. So Drain Punch will be doing the sufficient amount of. I see. Well, I believe we have lost this game now. Shit. Unless I miraculously take an Earthquake with Tyrantrum, which I might. But I think we have lost this game. Unless Tyrantrum takes one, which I would be extremely skeptical of. But, you know, maybe. I played that a little bit too safe there. Tyrantrum is there. Gigalith. Gigalith is strong, but Tyrantrum's also bulky. It doesn't matter. I'll still be able... I'm still going to lose. It's going to really depend on him landing hits. So we'll see if he does. We'll see if he lands Stone Edges. He needs to land 2, I believe. So we'll see if he lands this one here. Rock Blast would also... be a little important. I almost had Shadow Sneak over Encore, which would have been good here, but so be it. But I think Gigalith will clean, which is absolutely fine. Like I said, not a huge deal. But, you know, if he misses, he misses. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe I should have Encored. This is probably a very obvious set, and I should have thought about it a little bit more. I just didn't, so it happens. We'll see if he lands this Stone Edge. I presume he will. My luck hasn't been too great recently, and I, you know, would hate for Toasty to lose out because of a Stone Edge miss, but we'll see what happens. Sometimes I get lucky when it doesn't matter, and I get very unlucky when it does, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. He does land the Stone Edge, which is fine. I think the next move is to hope that Earthquake doesn't kill Licky Licky, and then I can go for Earthquake on this thing. Probably the best option. Hopefully he misses Stone Edge here. Or he could just try and go for the Earthquake kill. He does land the Stone Edge, so that's gonna be game. Absolutely. So GG. I definitely deserve to lose that. I think that the Gigalith set was very, very well crafted. I could have gone Scarf here, I think, too, is another option. But like I said, not really something. Definitely something I could have predicted. I saw Curse a little bit more likely than Rock Polish. So that is entirely on me. Turns out I have a losing record against Toasty. So be it. GG. That's absolutely fine. You know, I had a lot of midterms and stuff, so building this team didn't actually... I did not bring this team... I did not bring sort of a very well thought out team. I had other things. So it was one of those situations where Toasty versus Aquarius week 7. It was one of those things where, you know, I just didn't put as much prep and energy into it. And I actually think I very well could have won that. Had I just, you know, played a little bit better and thought about my moves. I think Encoring is 100% the play with Gallade, because if he went for Curse, I could have Encored it there. If he went for... Well, I would have had Encore after the Rock Polish. And if he went for Stone Edge and I Encored him into it, then I would have been fine. If he went to Earthquake and I Encored him into it, then I could have gone Rotom. So... probably was the wrong move there to do that. That being said, I mean, if I Encored him into Earthquake and then I went into Canadian and then went for, you know, Toxic or Volt Switch, I mean, it still would have been a little bit rough. So Toasty played very well. I'm absolutely fine taking this loss. Makes no difference to me, and I think we'll be okay in the weeks to come. Like I said, 1 loss isn't a huge deal. We're pretty ahead in the standings. No worry right now. So thank you for watching. That was hopefully a fun sweep to watch. Really well played to Toasty, and I will see you all later.